Hello and welcome to COM 101. My name's Adam Porter. I am the instructor for this course. This is the summer 2018 session of COM 101, Introduction to Mass Communication. So welcome. This video is just an introduction to the syllabus, and we're going to take a look at our Cobra course as well as our online textbook via the McGraw-Hill Connect. So let's jump right into the syllabus real quick. I'm sure most of you have had the opportunity to look this over a bit. I've seen numerous posts in the discussion, so on and so forth. I've gotten emails from a lot of students as well, so that's great. But I just wanted to go over this and give you the opportunity to watch this video while I explain all of the details of the class and maybe clarify anything that might not have made perfect sense when you read it over. So, this is COM 101, Section 251W. It's a 3-credit-hour course, and it meets 100% online. Once again, my name's Adam Porter. By far the easiest, quickest, most efficient way to get a hold of me is via email. My email's right here, aporter@parkland.edu. You can email me anytime, and I will generally get back to you as quickly as possible. Always within 24 hours. That said, if you are looking for a more immediate response, which you might get sometimes, but definitely during my online office hours, Monday and Fridays from 12 to 2, I will be available for pretty much immediate response to any questions you might have. That said, reach out to me anytime and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I am also on campus a bit this semester on Wednesdays, so you can catch me in my office, C124. If you want to shoot me an email ahead of time just to let me know to expect you, that would be great. But always available to talk and answer any questions if you have them. Okay, moving along, there is a required textbook for this class. It's Introduction to Mass Communication, Media Literacy and Culture, 9th edition by Barron. So this is a smart book. It's integrated into the Connect online software. There's a link going to that Connect software in our Cobra course, which we'll take a look at here in a moment. You can purchase your access code to the course textbook and the online quizzes. You'll take the online quizzes there via Connect. You can purchase that right via the Connect link in our Cobra site, right there online. That said, access codes can also be purchased in the Parkland bookstore. Just make sure that you are getting the 9th edition. We used to be on the updated 8th edition. We are now on the 9th edition of the text. Obviously, since this is a online course, you're going to need access to a reliable computer with internet access to check your Cobra course site and check your Parkland email regularly. I suggest checking your Parkland email account daily. That will be my primary form of communicating with the class, though I do post updates on Cobra as well. Okay, course objectives. So what are we trying to do in this class? This is COM 101. It is an introduction to mass communication. In other words, we are introducing you to all of the mass media industries and taking a bit of a look at their history, where they're at currently, and then what the future might hold for those mass communication industries. This is not a interpersonal communication or public speaking type of course. We have other classes for those specific types of things. COM 103 would be for public speaking, COM 120 for interpersonal face-to-face communication. This course, COM 101, is an introduction to the entire communication industry. So as you can see in our course objectives, we have 4 main objectives that we are striving for in this class: to better understand the history, functions, and responsibilities of the mass communication industries, to better understand the foundational theories of communication, to help you be more knowledgeable consumers of mass media messages, which may be the most worthwhile aspect of this course out of anything, because you are constantly surrounded by mass media during your daily life, whether you realize it or not, and being able to decipher those messages and be a more knowledgeable consumer of those mass media messages will make you It'll just be much easier to see through things for what they really are and understand the industries from the inside out. Finally, to increase your knowledge about career opportunities in mass communication industries, so you are aware of what careers are out there and what's available to you in the certain career paths. We have a media careers project where we focus specifically on that. So after completing this course, you should know and understand numerous things: the process of communication, the elements of mass comm, and the basic theories described. Theories are simply ways we try to understand mass communication. Know the history and current state of each mass medium. When we talk about mass mediums, we're talking about things like newspapers, television, the internet, books, radio, video games, so on and so forth. These are specific mass media industries that fall under that larger mass communication umbrella. Know the roles and functions of gatekeepers in mass media. Gatekeepers are the ones who basically they're the filter. Okay, the information is filtered through gatekeepers who decide what gets published, what goes out on television, what doesn't, the way the story is covered, etc. And gatekeepers are very important to understand as they play a key role in what media gets dispersed to the consumer. Have a better understanding of how you use mass media and how media affects you. And we're going to jump right into that as soon as possible, if you haven't already, with the Media Use Project. The Media Use Project is where you track your own media use for 4 days. Then you attempt to be mass media free for another 3 days. That's a 1 week process in total. And then you'll reflect on that using a specific theory, the uses and gratifications model, and write an analysis paper about your experience. Understand the impact of digital technology on each mass medium, which is something we obviously can't deny. We are in the rapid digital technological age where technology is advancing very quickly, and that is obviously changing the way that mass media works and the way that these industries work. Develop an awareness of how mass media functions globally. Media is a global phenomenon. It is not, constricted to just, say, the United States. Products made in the U.S. are then distributed worldwide, so we have to understand that global process. Be able to analyze media messages in a knowledgeable way and develop a basic knowledge of the career paths available to you in the mass media industries. Okay, up next on the syllabus is methods of evaluation, the way that you achieve your final course grade. It is on a 1,000-point scale, broken down as you see here on the syllabus. So there's multiple elements of the class, including quizzes, discussion posts, current events assignments, a couple of large projects, the media use and the media careers, and a written final exam. So a little bit more about that. The SMART quizzes are worth 15 points each. There are 14 of them for a total of a little over 20% of your total grade in the class. Those quizzes work a little bit different than what you might be used to with a typical quiz. We'll talk more about that here briefly. But essentially, you will, once you link to the Connect site, where our online textbook is located, you'll not only be able to read the chapters, but once you've read the chapter, you will do what's called a practice quiz. These are also called SMART quizzes. And essentially what you do is you go through a series of questions, and you continue to answer questions until you get them all right. You can get questions wrong. You can even go back to the text and read about the question you got wrong, come back, answer a similar question, and get it right. The point is you keep going until you complete all the content. So it's okay to get questions wrong as long as you're willing to stick with it and get to the end. If you do, and you reach 100% completion on all of the topics that need to be covered on the chapter quiz, you will get full credit. That's the way the SMART quizzes work in a nutshell. We'll take a look at those here in a moment when we jump over to the Connect site via Cobra. Also, discussion posts. There are numerous discussions throughout the course of the class, and you will post in these, and you will also reply to another student in these discussion posts, and they are worth 15 points each. 10 points for an original post, 5 points for your replies, for a total of 15 points per discussion. There's 2 current events assignments in the course. These are 2 short papers, 2.5 to 3 pages, worth 75 points each, where you apply a current event, a current news story, and you apply some of the knowledge from the chapter readings to that current event while breaking it down. Basically, you're going to be looking at just quickly summarizing what the story is, and then talking about how you feel that it applies to the future of that mass media industry. There's the media use project. This is a big one, and it starts now and is due at the end of our first unit, which is June 30th. So you need to get started on that ASAP. I'm going to have a separate little bit of content for you related specifically on the media use project, but I kind of talked about it quickly a moment ago, but in a nutshell, you're basically keeping track of all of your mass media use for a period of time. Then you're going to try to avoid mass media for a period of time, and then you're going to analyze that experience in a paper. That's worth 150 points and is due at the end of Unit 1, so if you haven't looked at that assignment information yet, I highly recommend doing so in the Unit 1 module. There's a media careers project we do towards the end of the semester, where you get to choose a media career that you are specifically interested in or that you think sounds interesting, and you get to research it in more detail. So looking for specific things like what kind of education is required, what kind of experience, what kind of skills are required, what would you be doing in the job, where are the best locations to get a job, what is the salary ranges. You'll be looking at all of that type of stuff and sharing it with the class. And then finally, the final exam, which is a kind of cumulative essay where you're going to apply all of the things that you've learned in the semester to a well-written paper focusing on one specific media industry. That is the grading scale and the way that you will come to your final grade at the end of the semester. Okay, what is expected of you? This course meets online, so that means it's up to you to stay on top of course content and deadlines. Make sure that you are checking Cobra often. Also make sure that you're checking your Parkland student email on a regular basis, as that will be my primary way of communicating with the class. Log into the course multiple times each week. Stay on top of due dates and materials, and space out your work over the course of the units. I try to set these classes up to give you kind of the freedom to do this work when it best fits your schedule. Therefore, there are not deadlines, tons of deadlines at tons of different times. Typically, you have 2 deadlines per unit. Your original discussion post, 1 week into the unit, halfway in, and then everything else is due at the end of the unit, and it's up to you when you complete that work. Note that those discussion posts do make up a significant portion of your grade, so stay on top of them, and that might be something you want to do early in the unit, as the original posts are due on the first Saturday night. That original post will be worth 10 points, or up to 10 points. The next week, you will be replying to at least one other student's post. This is all about creating an online discussion or dialogue between the students in the class to try to give us some of what we're missing from the in-person, in-class lectures, where we could have those face-to-face discussions with each other. Okay, due dates and late work. The way this class is set up, you've got 2 weeks to complete the unit work, other than those original discussion posts or anything that is specifically noted otherwise. So with that said, plan accordingly. I will not be accepting late work due to the structure of the class. So determine your best plan of attack for completing materials early. Stay on top of it. And then because of the online class structure, once again, late work will not be accepted. Once we hit that unit deadline, anything not turned in will be a 0. I will be available once again for online office hours for immediate response on Mondays and Fridays. I'll be on campus a bit on Wednesdays, but I usually we'll get back to you pretty quickly regardless of what day you contact me. Once again, aporter